is Missy and Sherry, and it's week 2 of the Atomic Habits book study. Missy, are you enjoying Atomic Habits?
Yes.
Perfect.
I love it. I have spots marked that can come out. Pages marked, things highlighted, dog-eared, notes in it. Yeah, I love this book.
What right now is the habit that you're adding?
Well, if you look around my desk right now, which y'all can't see, it's a mess. And that tends to be true most of the time, even though I know what's in every stack on this desk. And I can remember where I wrote something. It still is not great for a working environment to have to dig through things and whatnot. So I have this box back here that is things to shred. And I've decided that every day I'm going to make it a habit that I will shred for 10 minutes every single day, because I need to get rid of this stuff. Some of the stuff is from like 2012, and
I don't know if you saw my face, but my eyes just did this.
I'm a hoarder.
There's no judgment. I just thought 2012. Wow. Wow, I love it.
Actually, not really 2020. 2014, when I started this job.
Woo! Well, you never know what you're gonna need, so that makes sense. But now you know what you need, and you know what you need to do is organize your space. So what is your "I'm the kind of person who" statement that you decided?
So I decided I wanted to be a neat, tidy, organized office professional.
Great. That's perfect. That's a mouthful, but practical. Very practical.
Thank you.
So, so this week or last week we talked about that's who I'm becoming, and every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become.
Which I love that quote.
I do too. And so in our notebooks, we're gonna do, of course, law 2, because that's what we said we're gonna do. But last week we didn't do habit stacking because we ran out of time, because frankly that first section is just really long. So habit stacking, in your notebooks or in your booklets, it talks a little bit about habits and habit stacking. And the best way to start a habit is to attach it to a habit that already exists. So for some people, for like my husband, he wanted to start taking more collagen, and so he puts collagen in his coffee. He loves coffee. He's gonna put collagen in his coffee. He already likes coffee. He put the collagen in the place where we keep the coffee. So every morning when he gets up, it's one more scoop, but it's stacking the habit. So Missy, after you, current habit, or for you maybe even while, you will, what's your new habit? How are you stacking the habit so that you shred every day for 10 minutes?
So for those of you that know me, this will not come as a surprise, but I really enjoy getting my steps every single day. I like to close my rings on my Apple Watch, and so that's my current habit. I can't even help it. When I stand up, I just start marching now. So in order to entice me to do my shredding, I will take my shredding, I will march to wherever I'm going to the shredder, and as I am shredding, I will march in place. And so for that 10 minutes, I'm marching and I'm shredding, so I'm doing both of my habits, whether they're good or bad.
What I love about that too is that your habit of marching was brought out of this goal of closing your ring. That all comes from a priority of staying healthy. And so last week we talked about priorities and doing those top 25 priorities and saying, well, we can't really have 25 priorities. We're not Superman or whatever. So highlighting the top 5 that are like essential for whatever span of time you're looking at. So for 5 years, for 10 years, what are my priorities? What can I envision are my priorities? And then really dialing down and seeing if we can stack some of these habits so that you're kind of getting a twofer, and you're stacking those priorities together and saying, I want to be healthy and I want to become a person who has an organized office space. So I'm going to march. Everybody knows I'm marching. I'm the queen of marching, and I'm going to march while I shred.
Yes.
Because now I'm going to be the queen of shredding.
Yes.
So
if you need some shredding done, bring it to me. I'll shred.
Or they can start their own shredding, marching,
habits, or
Great.
You can stack the two.
Okay. All right. So this week then is make it attractive. And what I love about this chapter is he talks about the habit cues. And in the previous chapter he talks about them, but in this chapter he really pulls out the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward in your habit loop. And so I wanted to go through that because all of our good habits have this, and don't we know it, all of our bad habits have this response as well. So one example for me is I want to drink coffee or caffeine in any form as soon as I wake up. When I wake up, I'm like, it's time.
Oh, I think I do too.
Yeah, as soon as I wake up.
Yeah.
So my cue is literally opening my eyes, even before I open them.
Caffeine.
The awareness, I need it. I immediately want coffee, or before I go to the gym, I do like these, the little mix. So I'm like, I gotta have a little spark right now. Get a little wake up. My response is, I'm getting out of that bed. I am going downstairs.
You deserve it.
The night before, I actually take the mix and I mix it and I put it by the back door so that when I'm ready to go to the gym, I'm able to just pop out and go. My reward, I think we all know, is the happiest brain there ever was at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's
I'm not
my
happy
cue.
at 5 a.m.
That's as happy as you can get, right? Okay, so what's one for you?
So my closing my rings is a big one. That's my reward.
Okay.
So my cue is, I'm like you.
Yeah.
The moment I open my eyes, I'm like, okay, I gotta get my watch on. I gotta get my steps. I know how many steps I should have before I walk out the door to get into my car, before I go to work.
Yeah.
I have a set in my mind of how many steps I should have by noon, by 4 o'clock.
Whoa.
But yeah, I know I'm.
And if you hit it each time, you get that reward.
I get so that craving of I don't ever want to feel it buzz that I haven't stood up for an hour, and that response is I'm like, oh, like it stresses me out to not get my steps for a day.
So when you hit that mark that you've set for yourself, that is another cue. Once you get that reward, that cue begins again.
Yes.
The habit loop is called a loop because as soon as we end, we begin again. And I think when he talks about that, that's the perfect way to make it attractive. Because if we can stack our new habit that we want or our old habit we're trying to get rid of with something that we enjoy or want to do, then we're more likely to continue to do it because we get the reward. And as soon as we get the reward, it cues that new cue so that we will have some type of a craving. I want to feel that again.
Yeah.
I want to feel like I'm reaching that goal again.
That accomplishment, that feeling of accomplishment, that release of endorphins, that's a great feeling.
Yeah. So for me, after I and my goal, of course, or my habit is I'm the kind of person who goes to the gym every day in the morning during the weekdays, on the weekdays where it doesn't snow. That's how I am. I'm at the gym. That's who I am. That's who I am.
I want to be that person.
So since that's true, my new habit is 5:15 on the dot.
I'm gonna get to the gym?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the gym at 5:15. That's my jam. Whether I'm teaching a class or I'm on my own, I'm at that gym.
Good for you.
So after I get to the gym, I can, and this is my favorite new thing I'm doing, and it's really making it work for me, is I get to use the dry sauna. And I let myself do dry sauna for like 8 minutes.
8 whole minutes.
It is the most wonderful 8 minutes of my whole day. Nobody knows where I am. I'm the sweatiest person in the gym unless there's another lady in the hot sauna. And it feels fantastic. So I'm like, if you get to that gym, you get to go to that hot sauna. And if you don't go to the gym, Mama, you don't have a hot sauna at the house. So you need to figure it out. Right?
She needs a sauna at her house.
It's true, maybe. No, because this keeps it going, sister. Okay, so what is your reward? So for you, we're doing, and we're thinking about this right now. This is not planned. Okay, so after you or while you are shredding, you're marching. And so what is a reward that you'll give yourself to be like, look at how organized this space is. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And what's something to stack on top of that, or that you get to add as something that you immediately get to do after that?
Well, I will say that for those of you that have used the shredder, or for those of you that like to vacuum, it's the same response for me, the something. It's very satisfying.
It's the sound, it's the getting rid of stuff, it's
Yes.
immediate, like I did something, I could show something for it, which in education happens so how
Yes.
so few and far between that you can immediately see a response.
It's an immediate yay me. It's an immediate, that the sound of the shredder, I don't like it to turn off. Like I like to make sure that it's continually going.
You're really enjoying this
I
shredding thing.
really am.
At first I was saying don't give her your shredding, but y'all, now that I heard that, I think you
I
gotta
want your
send
shredding.
Missy all your shredding
It's
stuff.
like the vacuuming though too. When you see the lines, that's so, I love that
you feel
feeling.
good about that. You can
I
come
do.
vacuum my house and you can come take care of all of my shredding, because
I will.
this lady just likes to sit in a sauna, so I don't know what to tell you.
She can sit and I will march.
Sounds good. Okay, so when you look at positive habits that you're adding, it's easy to sort of seek out rewards, because we, as human beings, were wired to have a reward center that notices reward everywhere we go. That's why billboards are so successful. So if a person wants to make their habit invisible or go away, or they want to diminish a habit, then one of the things they say to do, so if you're one of those out there who's saying, I'm not trying to add something, I'm trying to take something away, one of the things James Clear talks about is that every response that we have to a cue has an underlying motivation. And so we'll always go back to this quitting smoking, because that was one of his really that stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if you know that you want to quit smoking, you say, I'm not a smoker, or, oh, I'm sorry, I don't smoke. And then when you used to take your smoke breaks, you're going to attach it to a habit of something that you enjoy. You'll go for a walk with a friend. You'll maybe read a little bit of a book that you like. You were already taking that break anyway. Maybe you start marching and shredding like Missy. I don't know. But he says, when you get that cue, and that cue is, it's that time of day and it's time for me to smoke, and then you get that craving, he says, look deeply at your response. What are we trying to get or achieve or become in that moment? Because there's an underlying motivation for all of it. So whether it's you're trying to quit the caffeine at 3 o'clock because you're not sleeping well. Yes, what is it at 3 o'clock that needs the caffeine? Aside from children and teaching children at 3 o'clock and needing
It's
that
my
energy.
witching hour. I hate 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
So what can we do there? Can we shift it and replace it with something else that maybe a tea that has less caffeine, so we diminish the, instead of the, Coke Zero that you have every day, or whatever it is you're trying to do, really look at it and remember that we are wired this way. So we're not going to beat ourselves up if every day we don't do it. If you don't shred every 10 minutes every day.
And I haven't. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
I mean, the box is still pretty full, so you can tell that I haven't since I made that my habit that I needed to do, but I don't beat myself up about it. I'm just not that person.
That vote didn't happen that day. Yeah.
I got busy, I got a phone call, something, so I just assume positive intent and I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. And what I love is when James Clear says, like, it doesn't, you don't have to have unanimous votes to win an election, and you certainly don't have to do it all right all the time in order for it to stick. He does say never miss 2 days in a row.
Right, and I haven't.
So that's fantastic. Yeah.
I haven't, because then it's not becoming a habit, according to him.
Yeah, he says now it's the new habit of not shredding.
The new habit is not shredding.
So, so this week, as you're looking at Law 2, we go back into that summary that's on page 133. We're thinking about the way that those habits make us feel. Because the way that we feel every day matters, because the way we spend our days is the way we spend our lives. So the way we spend our days and the way we feel as we spend our days that way matters too. So whatever habit you're trying to add or break, know that making it attractive is only a way to better solidify it as a constant habit to support your priorities. So this week, I hope you have a great time shredding and marching.
Thank
and
you.
I'm gonna be at 5:15 waking up and getting my little spark and thinking about how we're all in this together, and thank goodness.
That's right.
And we'll see you next week. Next week we'll have Brooke Ranenberger, and she'll take us through week 3, or Law 3, which is make it easy.
It should be
button.
easy.
I think so too. All right, y'all have a good week.